Set aside a few moments for silence and reflection and meditation. One of the constant companions of my life, and it's been that way for as long as I've been thoughtful, and that is a sense of depression from time to time. And I've learned to just give to it and let it be a part of me, knowing that the seasons do change. I've had all the appropriate counseling and therapeutic involvements that are required, and I've got a pretty good handle on the thought process of it. But I understand it's about rhythms. I understand it's about moods. It's about my own chemistry and my biology. One of the things I'll be talking with the doc coming up this week is the side effects of the anti-rejection drugs. And I'm laying some blame on that a little bit for the energy and the depressive nature that I get into sometimes. But that's me, so I'll just risk sharing that with you because honesty is where we begin. I do that so to introduce our time of silence, because I'd like to offer you an opportunity in your own presence of heart and mind and thoughtfulness is to look at those things that you fear. One of the things I learned a long time ago, if you can label something, if you can put some kind of boundary on it with a name, you're beginning to deal with it. And one of the things I want to challenge you with this morning is to take an opportunity to look at the things that you fear, to put a name on it. Not that we're going to have a test or talk about it right now, but I hope it introduces you to a process by which you can examine those fears in your own spiritual questing and journeying and consideration. What do you fear? Is it health? Is it being alone? Is it lack of ability to do what you want to do? Is it money? Do you fear lack of purpose? See, we get into this, we pull this onion back, and we can see a lot of levels of what life presents to us. And we have a lot of distractions in our lives, but the opportunity... We planned that, by the way. We scripted that. The distractions in our lives keep us busy, but they often keep us away from dealing with that stuff that we need to deal with. Sometimes we need to stir things. Sometimes we need to pull the door back and I see you in there. I see you in there. And I'm going to call you by name. I'm going to call you by the dread I have for you. I'm going to call you health. I'm going to call you safety. I'm going to call you dread about what might befall me. Peggy and I have two very different personalities. Peg is a worrier and she verbalizes it, and I'm a worrier and I internalize it. So we don't have many good conversations. But when we do, they're rip-roaring ones. They're good ones. Because our rhythms move in such a pattern that we challenge one another to be open to what's going on with ourselves. And with that process becomes something that's helpful. So in a time of silence, I want you to look at that altar that is at the center of your human consciousness and look at what big bad thing is sitting right on the middle of it. Is it something you've learned about who you are? Is it something that you regret? That old fear coming back? See, fear is a natural thing. Fear is a good understanding and a good awareness that we're awake, that our sensitivities and our sensibilities are alive, because usually those fears are evoked by something going on. And with that labeled, with that understood, with that highlighted, might become the possibility of us dealing with it. And the opportunity to step back from that terrible engagement in the feelings that go with some type of fear or misunderstanding or emotion that we have. Just to step back, to be away from its power for a moment, to take in a breath, to go, I'm here, I'm recognizing it, I'm embracing it, I'm not frightened by it, I'm going to engage it. There's great illustrations from faith and history and religion, but one of my favorite ones is the in the Old Testament when Isaiah, I guess it's Joseph, I don't remember, I'll mess it up, but you'll get the idea. He has the wrestling match all night long with the devil, with the angel. And for the psychologist in us, or the psychology approach to that, it's us dealing with our conscience. It's us dealing with our apprehensions. It's us dealing with our anxieties, struggling to overcome. And in the struggle, the punchline is, the takeaway is, that Isaiah is wounded. But he holds on, and he claims the blessing. I think that's a tremendous metaphor for life. If we're engaged with all we've got, if we're engaged with all the authenticity and honesty, all the vulnerability we can possess, we can find the strength to struggle with that which bothers us, that gives us pain, that diminishes our lives. We might be wounded, but we're walking wounded. We might be hurt, but we come away with it. And if we can determine in our hearts that we are truly alive and that matters, then we begin the walk, not so much of recovery, but of coping, of discernment, of being about what it means to take every day as you can, to choose those opportunities where you can to bless yourself, to claim those blessings, and being about a blessing to one another. The internal life is pretty barren, and it eats itself. It's like a cancer. It will devour itself. We will find all kinds of reasons to hate ourselves and be unworthy. But once we engage, once we open our hearts, when we venture with a little courage to embrace others and be a part of their lives and to claim our space in their lives, we become away blessed sometimes. We become diminished. We let that old junk that's inside us rest, and we're engaged with an exterior life that feeds our interior life. In a time of silence, imagine that altar, name that fear, and be open with some planning and some creativity on how you're going to deal with it. Let us all to be together in a time of silence. Many paths have brought us here. We came into this place as strangers. Some of us have known one another for years. We've passed our lives together. We've lived together. We embrace new folks who come our way. We seek to be open to them, to share the love we have and the blessings we can bestow. May we be good to one another. May those terrible internal lives we live be nurtured and nourished and blessed and healed by our engagement here. Let us be truly an extended family, a community, not based on rules or laws, but informed by freedom and guided by hope, nurtured by love, that establishes a relationship that says yes to life, that looks at all the doubts and problems, but still says, with hope, we are here. We care. Let us laugh, lift, and be good as life offers up its challenges and its opportunities. May it be so. Amen.